Hello fellow gamers. Welcome back to our channel. As the month of May 2024 approaches, we know you're all excited about the upcoming game releases. We've got you covered. In this video, we're going to dive into the top 10 games releasing in May 2024. Let's get started. Senua's Saga: Hellblade 2 is an upcoming action-adventure game developed by Ninja Theory and published by Xbox Game Studios. It is the sequel to the award-winning game Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. The game is set in the myth and torment of Viking Iceland, where the protagonist, Senua, embarks on a brutal journey of survival with the intent to save those who have fallen victim to the horrors of tyranny. The game involves a battle of overcoming the darkness within and without. It carries over the concepts and gameplay elements of its predecessor, including permadeath, utilizing puzzles and runes to advance, and an examination of Senua's mental state. A new fighting system, more dynamic and realistic than the previous one, will also be included in the game. The game goes deeper into the Norse mythology and history that served as inspiration for the narrative. It takes place in Iceland, and Ninja Theory has collaborated with Scandinavian folk music band Heilung for the game's soundtrack. The game is scheduled to release for Windows and Xbox Series X and S. The game is a third-person action-adventure game with more complex combat and a wider variety of opponents. It was announced in December 2019 at the Game Awards 2019. The game's mature content description indicates that it is intended for a mature audience. System Shock Remake is a modern rendition of the 1994 classic, brought to life by Nightdive Studios. The game is set in the Trioptimum Corporation Citadel space station, where you play as a hacker who has inadvertently caused chaos by disabling the ethical limitations of the AI Shodan. Shodan, the game's iconic villain, has transformed the station's crew into cyborgs and mutants, and plans to extend her reign to Earth. The game is a blend of first-person shooter and survival horror, with a strong emphasis on exploration and puzzle solving. The remake retains the original's complex level design, requiring players to navigate through interconnecting corridors, rooms, and locked gates. It also maintains the original's cyberpunk aesthetic, complete with smart guns and an evil corporation. V Rising uniquely combines elements of survival and action RPG genres. Set in a world where you play as a newly resurrected vampire, the game introduces deforesting and crafting mechanics, which may seem unusual for a vampire-themed game. Despite the time-consuming crafting aspects, the game shines with its excellent boss design and respectable ARPG combat. The game's progression is tied to crafted gear, and gathering resources can be slow. However, the game allows you to adjust resource yields and refining speeds for a more tolerable experience. The game has been praised for its vampire aesthetic and the ARPG mechanics. The progression and base building are intuitively designed and feature some depth. The game distinguishes itself from other survival games by layering complex systems inspired by vampire mythology. The game found a perfect balance of building, combat, some lore, and exploration. It has been highly recommended for RPG fans and vampire fans alike. Homeworld 3 is sequel to the legendary spacefaring RTS. Developed by Blackbird Interactive and published by Gearbox Publishing. As a 3D real-time strategy game set in space, it boasts an extensive campaign mode, giving solo gameplay an important role. The award-winning story unfolds on a galactic scale, and strategic freedom is a key feature of the game. The game introduces hulking space derelicts called megaliths that bring 3D terrain into the classic Homeworld battlespace. Players can use the remains of an ancient civilization to funnel foes into a brilliant ambush or hide their fleet from powerful enemies. The game also features dangerous space phenomena like particle storms and asteroid fields. Your fleet persists from mission to mission, and scars on your ships linger. Strikecraft pilots and capital ship captains pass along critical information through battlefield chatter. Homeworld's timeless art style evolves with modern technology, offering an incredible sense of scale, destruction, and wonder. Morbid: The Lords of Ire is a continuation and reinvention of the critically acclaimed isometric Souls-like ARPG Morbid: The Seven Acolytes. The game's story revolves around the heroic striver who returns once more to do battle with horrific creatures in a dark and twisted world of pain and suffering. Players are tasked with defeating the five Lords of Ire across tortured landscapes. The game features a range of vicious weapons, equipment, and blessings to eviscerate everything in your path. It also introduces a sanity system, where your approach to combat can have a dramatic impact on the world around you. The game offers diverse environments across 5 unique lands filled with nightmarish visions and stomach-churning creatures. It also includes epic boss battles with the mighty Lords of Ire. Morbid: The Lords of Ire steps into a new 3D perspective, fully realizing the horrors of the Morbid series. It's a blood-soaked action-adventure with Souls-like elements. Prison Architect 2 is the much-anticipated sequel to the acclaimed game, Prison Architect. Unlike the original, the sequel is being developed by a different studio and is transitioning from 2D to 3D graphics. This change has been met with mixed reactions from fans. Despite the challenges, the sequel aims to live up to the content-rich experience of the original game. Set in a brand new 3D landscape, Prison Architect 2 introduces new mechanics and faces a steep uphill battle with fans due to these changes. The new developer, Double 11, has the challenging task of making the sequel as content-rich as its predecessor. The original game was consistently named one of the best in the simulation genre, setting high expectations for Prison Architect 2. The sequel promises smarter inmates in a more whimsical carceral state. It will feature a freshly upgraded career mode where the choices you make will entail reactions from your prisoners. Earth Defense Force: World Brothers 2 is an exciting sequel to the Earth Defense Force: World Brothers spin-off game. The game's story picks up after the events of the first installment, where the voxel Earth has been broken into pieces once again. Players are tasked with defending the cube Earth from an all-new enemy. The game features a full array of soldiers from the history of the Earth Defense Force series, including soldiers from the mainline Earth Defense Force series and the Earth Defense Force spin-offs. There are over 100 characters to collect and over 600 equipable weapons and accessories. The game also includes familiar enemies from previous releases as well as new enemies unique to this release. It offers over 100 missions and 5 difficulty levels. The game supports up to 4-player online co-op and also features split-screen play, allowing you to defend the Earth with your friends and family. Nine Souls is a lore-rich, hand-drawn 2D action platformer. Developed by Red Candle Games, creators of award-winning psychological horror games Detention and Devotion, it features Sekiro-inspired deflection-focused combat. The game is set in the land once home to an ancient alien race. You follow a vengeful hero's quest to slay the Nine Souls, formidable rulers of this forsaken realm. The gameplay combines fast, brutal action sequences with classic platforming mechanics. Nine Souls introduces a unique genre, Taopunk, which is a fusion of Eastern Taoist themes and cyberpunk. The game world is filled with traps and obstacles, demanding quick reactions and strategic planning. The game's protagonist, Yi, uses a godly bow and a variety of moves to defeat enemies. Nine Souls is not just about combat, it also emphasizes exploration. You traverse through the interconnected regions of New Kunlun, discovering secrets and piecing together the story behind Yi's revenge. MultiVersus is free-to-play crossover platform fighting game. Developed by Player First Games and published by Warner Bros. Games, it features content from franchises owned by Warner Bros. Discovery. In MultiVersus, players battle on different stages, attempting to knock the opponent beyond the stage's boundary by dealing sufficient damage. It brings together a gaggle of characters from the Warner Bros. universe in bouncing and jumping battles. You can team up with or against your friends using some of the world's most iconic characters including Batman, Shaggy, Superman, Bugs Bunny and more. The game offers a wild jamboree of iconic characters throwing down in wonderfully weird ways. You can pair Marvin the Martian and Arya Stark or Velma with Batman. It's a roller coaster of fun and a universe of endless possibilities.